All right. Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. All right. I am, as usual, trying to connect over on Instagram so we can go live there too. All right, everybody. We are live on all the places. Yay. All right. So I'm going to move that guy over to the other screen. All right, guys, we have such a great topic for you. I could not be more excited to have this conversation with you all today. And happy Thursday, everyone, by the way. So, today, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a background in terms of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be delving into a topic that I think has really been overlooked in the market. So, hang on one second. I'm going to get rid of that little banner for now. We'll show the coupon code later so that you can save 15%. All right. So here's the bottom line, really, and I'm sure every woman on this live stream can relate. Generations, women have been told that debilitating cramps are just something you have to deal with, right? It just is. It is what it is. And therefore, miss work days, miss school, canceled plans, and or the alternative is trying to show up for life while in pain. But what if that did not have to be the reality? Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, today I am joined by my two special guests, including Michael Lerner and Roxana Zada. And they're the team behind Cramps Wellness. And this is a company bringing really innovation to an area of women's health that really, I don't think, has seen much advancement in a really long time, if ever. Certainly not in my lifetime. And their product, you're going to learn so much more about it. But their product is really designed to provide discreet, long lasting menstrual pain relief using far infrared technology and natural minerals that help increase circulation, support comfort, all without medication. So we're going to talk about, how it works, what makes it different, and why communities, including those dealing with endometriosis, are really sitting up and taking notice. So here we go. Let's delve in, shall we? So I want to welcome both of you. I'm so delighted to have you, Roxana and Michael.
Thank
We're
you,
so
Leslie.
glad to be here.
We love being here. Yes.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this conversation. So I think a good place to start is let's talk a little bit about your backstory. I'm really, really curious about, just kind of if you could give us an overview of the evolution of how you got where you are.
Sure. I can start.
Okay.
It's great meeting everybody. Oh, let me first start by saying you're probably wondering why I'm in my car. Well, 5 after 1 East Coast time, the power went out in the condo building that I'm in. So, and then they would go over these loudspeakers. So if I was there, you probably wouldn't even hear me. But anyway, I was able to get in my car, and I'm in the Chase Bank parking lot.
I
So
love it.
anyway, it's a pleasure meeting everybody. We're very excited about this. Some of you might have met us at the Integrative Healthcare Symposium. We were there in New York, 10 days ago, and it was very exciting for us. It was our first introduction to the integrative healthcare community. And what's interesting is I'll give you kind of the quick backstory on it. Well, first, I mean, just as a sidebar, the only relevance is the fact that I come from a consumer products background, totally
Mhm.
unrelated to the women's health and wellness area. I founded a company called Safety First. And any of you that would have children in the past 30 years, you probably have bought our products. We sold to all the big box retailers. And the relevance to this is the fact that I had a company for about 16 years. When it was private for 9 years, took it public for 7 years. But when we sold the company, when I sold it, we had 7 number one market share positions and 7 number twos. And we exported to 50 countries. So the relevance is the fact that one of our core competencies, which is really why we're here today, was to be able to identify categories that were underused. that were underserved, let's just say. And not only that, but be able to add innovation to a category and making sure that we not just meet consumer expectations, but exceed consumer expectations. And we really were known as the innovators in the industry. So I actually took that mindset and that culture that we had at Safety First, and I brought that into Cramps. And it all started off, actually, probably initially started off because I know Mark Hyman from I'm from Boston for like 15 years ago. And I remember Mark talking about Farm for Red. In fact, around that time, it was in primarily farm fed heating lamps and farm fed saunas. It was the most popular. And over the years, I was always very interested in integrative healthcare and making sure that on the preventative standpoint. So I started delving into with one of the factories I did business with. We did mostly our business was here in the U.S. And I started looking at because I realized that every mineral in the earth gives off some level of farm for red. So I was
Right.
able to work on it. It took about 3 years, 3 to 4 years, and we developed a proprietary formulation of minerals that actually was able to give off the level of farm for red that meets the spectrum of what you would consider to be within uh, the another term, the healing benefits. It meets the same criteria that a farm fed heating lamp would have, for example. And we did the testing with Exponent down in Atlanta as well as Drexel University. Drexel, each we did about 2 tests, and Drexel is the most recent, and the nanomaterials department, proving that cramps does emit the level of a optimum level of farm for red, which Roxana will get into. And just we are a women's led company. We have 8 women on the team, passionate, excited, all believers in the product because they've used the product. 2 of them, there are suspected endometriosis. Obviously, as we all know, it takes so many years to have an official diagnosis and how that happens. But with this particular product, I developed the technology with the pain relief benefits, and I realized in talking to women, especially the first woman I spoke to, has endometriosis, and I gave her the product to test out. This is 2 years ago, and she called me the next day because she had just gotten her menstrual cycle, the first day of it, and she had amazing results. I mean, literally no pain, the pain went away, and so I continued down the road and kept testing with maybe 100 women over the next year. We kept fine tuning not only the technology, but the fabric that we're using to make sure we have the right admittance, and also the adhesive to make sure that on the abdomen, it was meeting so minimize any skin irritation or eliminate skin irritation, and making sure they adhered properly, because each patch will last up to 72 hours of efficacy. And the thing that really I was so impressed with is the fact of, and I've developed product over the years. I've developed a lot of products, so I know when we hear the right feedback from the consumer, and the women that were testing the product, whether they just had regular menstrual cramps or extreme menstrual cramps or endometriosis, PCOS, incredible results and efficacy. And I mean, I'm talking without anecdotally, probably in the 99th percentile. So
Yeah.
I made the decision to enter the menstrual pain relief category. The only thing I'll say now is and I'll turn it over to Roxana, is the fact that and Leslie, is the reason why we went into the category also is exactly what Leslie was talking about. I researched the category. I saw there was no brand leader. There was not a lot of innovation. There was not any products I could. Most women I talked to, we literally talked to hundreds of women doing we call our kitchen testing. They were still using heating pads and ibuprofen or some form of Midol or something like that, but they didn't want to because they didn't want the side effects, and they had to take more of it to even get the same results. So that's the reason why I entered the category, not just because of the efficacy of the product, but because I really saw there was a significant need. And the other aspect of it is that the excitement that I saw and I heard from the women utilizing and using cramps was overwhelmingly positive and heartwarming. We are a mission-based company, and I take more of I'll call myself, even though I'm an advisory backseat role to 8 really amazing, passionate women with great experience in bringing product to market. Roxana leads it. She'll tell a bit about her background. She's incredible. And we're just very excited to be here because I've always felt that the integrative healthcare community is one of the areas that we wanted to focus on because of your reach and the fact and we actually will have an advisory board. We actually are finalizing everything right now. We have 2 of our 4 members that have committed to it from your industry. And because every functional medicine, integrative care, nutritionist, dietitian I speak to deals with so many women that have this issue and they have run out of solutions. And we know we're a solution. And we do a lot with the Endometriosis Foundation of America, Excision for All, Endo Black. And we know that we can make a huge difference in the quality of life of women in the US and around the world. So that's my 10 minutes.
I love it.
But thank you for listening.
Wow, interesting evolution, truly. And Roxana, did you want to add anything, or do we want to get right into?
I mean, I'll just add super quickly. I spent the majority of my career. I started at the precipice of digital marketing. So right when Instagram ads became possible, and I was working on luxury beauty and high-end fashion, brands like Max Mara, Tumi, NARS, all of these players. And it was so fun and exciting. And as I matured and started my own consulting business, as my career matured, I realized the aspect I was missing was everything had become so congested that people no longer know who to trust and which products to trust. And everything has become so rampant with claims and ways of discerning what's safe and what's not safe. And part of working with so many young women that were forming their careers at the time, it became so clear that women are looking for solutions and they're turning to one another for those. And we have to do a better job at giving them ones that they can share that are reliable and effective. And when I came across cramps, I was completely mind blown. I had studied the benefits of infrared for other reasons, for cancer research and other things. And I just saw that it was blowing up also with infrared saunas and the benefits that were coming out about all of the ways it can help the body. So to see a solution that took what is a trusted natural element found in nature and using technology and science to advance it into something that feels so unbelievably simple and easy to use. It's just a patch, that you put directly on the body. I think it's revolutionary for how we approach women's health, for how we give solutions to women, for how we can network and work as a community, because our core belief is that when women feel good, the whole world runs better, truly.
Amazing. So let's get some clarity in terms of the actual product.
Yeah.
There's a couple things that I'd like to touch on actually lots of things, but I really want to be clear on the product differentiation. How is this different than as compared to other menstrual pain relief type of products? And then I also like to better understand, you said it's a patch.
Correct.
So give us a little bit of background too on how this product works.
Yeah. So first and foremost, how it's different is this product is 100% drug-free. Not only that, but it's Informed Choice certified. Informed Choice, if you're not familiar, go through the most rigorous testing for athletes for every ingredient possible. They independently batch test cramps every month, and we get a clean bill. So it's unbelievably safe, hypoallergenic, latex-free. There are not a lot of effective products that can say that. There are some, but then you have something like a menthol patch, which is not relieving your pain. It's more just creating a sensation that makes you forget about your pain. Same with Advil. Yes, you're reducing inflammation, or ibuprofen, but you're taking that drug element too, and you're kind of forcing the body to find this relief. There are solutions like CBD creams, and some people have found success with those, but we don't have that clinical proof behind it quite yet either. And then there are those TENS machines and stimulators that actually have your brain disassociate from what it is truly still experiencing, which is pain. So it's just telling your brain you're not in pain, but your body is still going through those motions. We very much believe that pain is a signal. It is not something that you're intended to just ignore. It's a sign that there's something that needs a specific type of attention in the body. And we know that menstrual cramps, there are prostaglandins, they start to contract the uterus, there's potential ischemia. There is a reduced amount of oxygen and blood flow to the uterus itself at that time. What cramps does is it's a patch, it's an adhesive patch. I'm going to grab one in a second just to show it on screen. But it looks similar to a kinesiology tape. It has these circle and lightning bolt designs on it. Those designs are not purely aesthetic. Those are where we infuse those circle and lightning bolts with our proprietary mineral blend that includes tourmaline and ceramic powder. And those little infrared zones, when they come in contact with your body, so you just peel the patch, you don't stretch it, you place it right on the area where you have pain. And those circle lightning bolts infrared zones begin emitting infrared. The patch also captures and converts your body's heat back to the body as infrared energy. So you're getting this benefit that we know comes from all of the research on infrared. And then additionally, we've done a bunch of clinical tests. Our clinical tests showed that there is in fact increased blood circulation to the uterus where the cramps patches are applied. So this is about really targeting the source of your menstrual pain and doing it in a language that the body can understand and comply with easily, and in a way that may even make you feel better. And we've heard yes, astounding benefits from people that have used the patch once, but people who have been using it over time have also been claiming so many benefits in terms of how they're doing month to month over time with what used to be, debilitating or completely life-ruining cramps.
Oh my gosh. So key. Okay, so it's a patch. Did you want to show that to us?
Yeah, I'm going to go grab one while
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can talk while Roxanne's getting that.
Can we
Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about endometriosis? So
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just curious about just that process and the validation, and specifically what you're hearing from women. This is a really, really difficult diagnosis to deal with. So can you talk, or do we want to show the patch?
Let's show the patch. Why not? Okay. So they come in this container.
Okay.
And within each, there are 5 patches. So you can see these are the mineral infused circle lightning bolt zones that emit infrared. And you can also cut the patch for any sort of custom shape that you want. And it just comes right off. It's super thin. It comes in 4 colors and also 4 skin tones. And this is the black active grip, which is for athletes. So you can see it just kind of goes on as a second skin. It's super lightweight. It's sweat proof. It's waterproof. You barely remember it's on, and each patch stays on for 72 hours.
Okay. And you just put it on. So you put 1 patch on? Or
we recommend 2 patches if anyone has severe menstrual pain. You want to just cover the whole area within a 2-inch radius of where you're feeling pain, but you don't stretch it. You put the patch right there, and it's not limited to your abdomen. If you get hamstring pain or lower back pain or, any multitude of areas can benefit from wearing the patch.
Okay, I got to say, this is so interesting because I'm sure you get this a lot, but when I hear infrared, I'm thinking it's going to require like a infrared
Right.
instrument.
Right. So what these minerals, there are so many minerals, but these two minerals in particular that make up part of our blend, tourmaline and ceramic powder, they have been studied for so long. Tourmaline is a naturally occurring mineral. Ceramic powder also has been studied for its infrared properties. They've been known to give off this infrared. We do need heat technically for infrared to be powered or for it to begin emitting, but your body is providing that heat. So you're not using an external outlet or source like some people are familiar with infrared lamps, and the lamp is the source of heat. Here, the source of heat is your own body temperature that's going to be doing the work.
Yes. If I can just jump in also on the testing that we did, both with Exponent and Drexel University, they used a machine, testing machine called the Bruker machine. And that particular machine gets to the level of not 100 degrees. When where the heat goes on, they identified it right over the circle lightning bolt when they were doing the testing, and that emulates the body heat. So really, it's interesting because we found a way to get the body is what activates this reaction and gets the benefits. So and the other thing too is for those of you that are familiar with kinesiology tape, and it does resemble a kinesiology tape if you look at it. But when we did our clinical trial we did the clinical trial with the University of Tennessee, and David Levine was the person. We had two clinical trials initially several years ago, on pain relief. This is with EDS patients, Ehlers-Danlos patients, because we wanted to do that just on pain relief, and that obviously, as most of you know, that type of genetic connective tissue disorder is really difficult for them to find relief, and the results were profound. And so we actually got that. It's in a it's a medical publication as well, but so when I was talking with David about the new testing that we did, I was mentioning that very important here, and that Roxana keeps referencing as a patch and not a tape, because it's applied to the body without stretching. The whole concept of kinesiology tape is the stretching is the hypothesis, it's not been clinically proven, hypothesis that it lifts the skin with the stretch, and that creates some level of movement underneath the skin, whether it be circulation or whatever, oxygenation. And that's where they get the benefits. So we wanted to prove that it wasn't the stretching that was doing it, that there was something else going on in the product, help validating the fact that there's some infrared benefits. Now, just we're not making the claim that it's the infrared, but we can make the claim that the cramps patch, the circum lightning bolt, along with the patch itself, reflects infrared energy, and the benefits are significant.
I love that. Okay, so is it how often during a menstrual cycle, or during that time, would we need to reapply?
Usually, I mean, they last 72 hours. Most women experience the worst pain on days 1 and 2. That's like typically your window. So you're kind of covered for those days with one application. Ideally, you would use it the night before or the morning of, as soon as you know that those cramps are going to start hitting, so that you can proactively help it. But they should last you those 2-3 days. And if you have ancillary pain, you can apply an additional patch, or if you even have other body parts that are feeling sore from the experience, because it can really take a toll on the body. I would say on average, people are using 2 to 4 patches each cycle.
Okay. Amazing. So it stays on. So like, even if you do a shower.
This active grip, we work with some NIL athletes that are running track, playing volleyball. They are going through extreme training, all of swimming, sweating, showering, and this stays on. The active grip has the strongest adhesive. That's the black on black color. And then we have 4 other skin tones that also stay on through the showering and the working out and all of those. But if there is this extreme, activity happening, we would recommend the active grip.
Okay.
Yeah. I can also anecdotally too, we had somebody from our team that ran Boston in the first day, and she can't even off her couch to run a mile with the first day. But she was sponsored to run Boston, and she went there. And again, first day of her cycle was Boston Marathon, and put the patch on, no pain. She did. She actually, it's our best digital ad right now. It gets the most attention. So Courtney ran Boston, no pain, finished strong. So it's things like this. And we also have a couple of Olympic athlete women that a skater, a couple skater that uses the product as well. So we do have athletes that use it. You'll see some of them on our website, and we have a lot more. We have 6 NFL cheerleader teams that use cramps. And we can obviously tell people offline, but so it does have a very wide range of application and usages.
Yeah, I just wanted to also grab, this is one of the skin tones. So there are 4 skin tones. And this one kind of blends in with the body. You can barely tell it's there. They're seamless. They go under all clothing, and you kind of just put it on and forget about it. You just feel better.
Okay. So let's circle back then to just speak to that endometriosis community. If you can address, just the valid, tell us again if or remind us the validation.
Yes.
Can I just start with the first? I'd like to just start one thing, Roxana, just to sorry to interrupt, and then I'll let Roxana talk. But it actually was really interesting because it started with Noelle, who had endometriosis. That's the first person. Second person suspected endometriosis. Still felt that, and with amazing results over the past several years and the past 2 years. And Nicole, Decision for All, she was the first foundation that we contacted, and she is a huge fan of the product. She uses it. She's given us testimonials, and that was the real validation for us. And that validated. It wasn't just the fact that it was just a couple of the women that we knew, and we actually expanded out to probably another 6 or 8. But there was a foundation there, and she gave it out to a lot of her members that was part of Decision for All. And then we just kind of just naturally, and then I'll let Roxana jump in. We started getting involved with the other organizations, the other foundations, and it's really important to us. To us, it's one of those, we're really here to help women, and it's one of those more difficult. In fact, the only thing I'll say about it also is that we do have a fairly large influencer in the fitness area, and she has endometriosis, PCOS, and Crohn's disease. And we have someone from our team, Molly, who's responsible for outreach to content creators as well as some of the larger influencers. And she called Molly back on the Zoom with her agent to talk about being a representative or as a to represent some of the messaging. And she literally was in tears. I'm not trying to be melodramatic, but she was in tears. And it was very heartwarming. And even the last thing I'll say is, even when we gave her the script to talk about, because she did do a video for us, she said that she wanted to talk about it just from her heart, because she wanted to explain to everybody what this has meant to her and the quality of her life and the fact that she has her life back. So, and we're not going to sit here. This is not a cure by any stretch, and it's certainly not something that is 100%, but it has a really high efficacy. We have some of the larger endometriosis influencers during Endo Month now that we're working with, and it's very strong. So, all right, Roxana, sorry about that.
Yes.
Any chance I get to talk, you know me.
For us, endometriosis is the bar. That is the bar we need to meet. We need to make sure that this community feels seen, feels supported, feels listened to and heard, and that they're finally being met for their demands, which are not that high. It's just to be able to feel better and to be validated for what their body is going through. It's an excruciating thing to have to go through, and there's tragedy that surrounds the community a lot because they're living in horrible chronic pain. And unfortunately, there aren't a lot of communities or brands or even medical communities. I know this one is truly an exception, but medical communities that also understand and validate what's going on with the body and with the women that are dealing with this. So if we're able to give them an effective solution, one that they say works, that can dramatically change their lives, as Michael said, you know, this woman was in so much pain day to day, month to month, that she cried from the amount of relief that she felt from putting cramps on. Imagine feeling that sense of relief that is just, you know, disarms your whole body out of having to hold it in, because that's what these women are doing. They're gritting and bearing their pain day to day, month to month. So if we can help them, if we can serve them, if we can satisfy that community, then I think every other woman after that is, you know, beneath that bar. That is like the ultimate bar we want to uphold. And that's kind of where what we're holding ourselves to, and where we're testing ourselves with the most rigor and passion.
Yeah, Tori said on her video, it's the first time in 10 years that when she used cramps, that she didn't have to fake feeling good or feeling okay during her day-to-day. Yeah.
That's so powerful.
Yes.
Incredible. So, all right. So let's talk a little bit then about women who have tried everything.
Yes.
You know, pills, heating pads, all those remedies that you brought up earlier in our conversation. So can you kind of summarize for us what makes cramps different, you know, in terms of, the features, the benefits of your product?
Yeah, to me, the most differentiating factor is that you are supplying the body with something that is good for it, as opposed to anything that is harmful. So there is no compromise, there is no dissociation, and there is no question on the efficacy. This has been clinically shown to help a lot of what is associated with cramping and pain, which is that restricted blood flow. So to be able to have such a safe, trusted, easy, I think part of the double-edged sword of this product is that it looks so simple and so easy that it's easy to question its efficacy. But we know that it takes the most complicated, advanced development to create what feels and looks simple and effortless. And that's what I love so much about this, is that you don't have to think about whether or not it's safe. You don't need to trust outside of the proof that you're given that it works and does what it's intended to do. There are no harms to using it. It's absolutely safe. An athlete can use it, mothers, even, you know, younger girls that are experiencing menstrual pain. So to be able to have such an effective, easy solution that's widespread and can be beneficial to the body, to me, there's nothing else out there.
So one other thing too, Leslie, one thing too, I'm glad Roxana mentioned it, because we've got to mention that she mentioned safety, and we're Informed Choice certified, and we've been Informed Sports certified, which is the largest global testing facility. This is the umbrella over WADA, World Anti-Doping Association. So this meets Olympic athlete standards, and it's been tested every single month since 2021. Right after I developed the technology, even before we launched, I knew I needed to prove this out, because we wanted to make sure that everyone knew putting this on their body, they were going to be, you know, it's quality and safe.
Okay. I love that. Okay. So let's talk a little bit. I don't know. Let's maybe look at what you hope the future of this market will look like, you know, in terms of the menstrual care market. And, you know, give us a little bit of feedback on how you hope cramps will ultimately fit into that vision.
It's not my hope. My belief is that what cramps is doing is going to redefine how people are looking at this category, and will begin realizing that women make up a very large part of this world. And if the majority of us are suffering 1 week out of a month, that is a lot of suffering going on for the people that we want to show up to their lives and to the lives that they make better fully, and happily. And I don't think that's too much to ask. I think we've learned a little too easily to accept the standard. I think Cramps is changing that. It's saying that the standard was too low and we're going to raise it. And everyone around us is welcome to join that march, because again, I think when women feel good, the whole world runs better. Every home feels better. Every workplace feels better. I genuinely do believe that. And to be able also to have a community, I'm Iranian, so old wives' tales and remedies are something that, we share probably 15 times a day. I think the core of part of female community is to try and help one another, to help one another feel good and feel good in their lives, how they're showing up. And I believe that having this as the basis of a community that is supportive, that sees and hears and validates everyone's experience, that's going to end up leading us to better solutions and a better community and better output. And just it will all go up.
I love that. So let's talk a little bit about next steps. As you both know, the majority of people listening today are most likely coaches, practitioners, and dietitians. That's pretty much who I think is here. I see a few people on that maybe don't fit exactly into that category, but nonetheless, what are some good next steps for, especially for our practitioners who are like, oh my gosh, this is really going to help my patients, really going to be a step forward in allowing them to assist their clientele?
Yeah,
What would you recommend?
I want to start off by saying I told Michael at the start of 2026 that my New Year's resolution was to constantly be in rooms where I am the least smart person. So I'm very glad to be in that room today with everyone here that you mentioned. That means I'm following my New Year's resolution very well.
Some very smart people.
I know. I'm going to let Michael, I know Michael is so enthusiastic about how we want to show up for this community in particular, and I'm going to let him talk about all the steps to take.
Yes, no, thanks for that. I mean, from our standpoint, it's a really important area for us. Everything in integrative health is a big focus because we know that you touch the communities, you touch the women, you're there treating them, trying to find solutions. And I know there's a lot of solutions out there that are utilized, outside of the traditional, half the time when they get told that it's in their head, but I know that there's nutritional, there's hormonal, and there's so many other ways in which women get value. We want to be part of your arsenal. We want to be part of your toolbox. We want to work with all of you. I mean, literally all of you. And that's the thing that was so exciting about the symposium in New York is we have so many new people we're working with right now with them and their patients, and we're open to activations. I mean, since New York, we've probably done 6 activations of nutritionists and other healthcare practitioners where they are getting where their patients are getting together, and we're supplying free product and getting their patients to be able to try it. We also will work with you on special codes, and that we give significant discounts back to your patients. And if you want to develop some type of relationship, we're open to anything and everything. Our main goal here is that we want every woman that has menstrual pain to have an opportunity to try Cramps and to get the benefits from Cramps. And as I said before, I developed a lot of products. I know what it feels like to be in an underserved category. I've been in those before. The first category we're in when I started Safety First was the child safety.
It was the child safety category. I'll finish that, which was whether or not you can believe it, a non-existent category at the time. So it's actually a remarkable story that he realized, there are all these parents that want their children to be safe and there's no actual category to be able to facilitate it. But I know what he was going to say, which is even with that experience, this community is by far one that is missing and lacking in terms of innovation there. And we see people coming forward with really good efforts and good ideas. And we love everyone putting a solution out there. And if, whatever works for someone, we're happy. But if someone wants another option, if they're not satisfied, like this is the beginning of how we begin to change all of that. I finished all your thoughts, Michael.
Thank you. I got a phone call. I received a call and knocked me out again. But no, thank you for whatever you said. I agree with. How's that?
Yeah.
But we want to be there. We want to be there for everyone. And the last thing I'll say to finish that thought is when I got into the child safety category, it was only 6 products in the market, no brand leaders. It was underdeveloped. Moms and dads were looking for something, and this is very similar. And I just say this on a business standpoint, within 3 years, we had 90% market share in the United States in child safety at Safety First. Our goal is to do something here as well. And not just for any other reason that we have the product, we have the efficacy, we have the proof based on, granted, it's a much smaller audience of a couple thousand women right now, but I know that this is a very important product, and we want to be there, and we want to support whatever business you're in, however you're treating, even if it's for yourself, your kids, whatever it is, we want to be there to help.
Okay.
Very much.
So let's talk a little bit about how our people listening, everyone listening in, can take advantage of your generous offer of 15% off.
Yes. So as we mentioned, we are happy to give discount codes to the communities that we really believe in and that could benefit from the product. Leslie, you have your code. It's LeslieB15. So anyone can go on crampswellness.com and put that into the coupon code bar, and they'll get 15% off their next order. If they are in a rush, we also are available on Amazon. We're available on TikTok Shop. We would love everyone to follow us on Instagram at Cramps Wellness. We try to share information there, not only about the product, but on how women can become more familiar with what their bodies are undergoing, how they can feel more seen through what they're experiencing, how and where they can find good resources. If anyone on the call wants to be a resource to our community, we would be happy to feature them. And we're very open to this. I would say, unlike most of the wellness brands I see in the marketplace, we are not searching for the partners with the highest follows or with, the most impressive content. What we're looking for are genuine and passionate people who are really moved by the product and by the mission. And that's why we're here. And we're so grateful to be.
Yes. Leslie, can we tell them if they can contact us also at on our Roxanne, was it support at crampswellness.com?
Can I put it in the chat for everyone to see?
Yes, and feel free to contact us anytime. And we have a team that reviews that every day. And
there we go.
All right. Let's
perfect.
hang on one second. Is it in the comments? Hang on.
Oh,
I'm not sure that I see it.
Let's see.
So everyone's got a clear path forward. So while you do that, let's start to wrap up. So I want to make sure everyone is clear on how to get 15% off. And that is by going, there we go. That is by going to the website that you see on your screen, crampswellness.com. And at checkout, use the discount code LeslieB15 and you'll get 15% off, which is really, really nice and generous. So thank you for that. And hang on one second. Let me see. Oh, okay. Hang on. So let me
paste it because it
copy and paste. I see what's happening. Guys, hang on one sec. I'm gonna I am going to put this comment in so everyone can see it. All right, so the other thing that you can do, and I just posted this as well, is you can go to support@crampswellness.com or send a DM via Instagram on Cramps Wellness.
Yep.
And so lots of ways to get in touch with the company.
Yes.
So
You can even call Michael directly. I'm sure he would put his
Exactly.
phone number.
I'll put my cell phone number. You call me anytime.
oh my God, that is
That's how passionate we are about this
Okay.
community, Leslie.
impressive, Michael. I gotta hand it to you.
Absolutely.
I don't think I've ever had anyone say, "Here's my cell number. Call me,
Oh.
text me." Yeah, you're perfect.
I would do it if you let me, but no, we're very hands-on. You can just tell we're very hands-on. We're very passionate, excited about what we're doing.
I love it. All right, guys. So we are going to wrap up. What a great conversation and such an important conversation.
Yes.
I
So
think
fun.
the key thing, or there's so many, pearls here, but just the fact that this market is so underserved, at least historically, right?
Yes.
So I'm really excited about what's to come. And I mean, the solution to such a significant problem that's so easy. And you've got the efficacy data and it's safe and like it just ticks all the boxes, right?
Yes.
It really
Yes.
truly does. So I am so excited for the future of this organization. And I'm especially excited for the women that Cramps is currently serving and will serve in the future, because that is just no way to live, right?
Yes.
No way to live. So
Yeah.
let's have a revolution here, right? And turn things around. Because there's just clearly no reason to continue to suffer with menstrual cramps. So, all right, let's make this happen, everybody. Again, one last reminder, you're welcome. Pleasure to have you. Just want to remind everyone one more time to go to crampswellness.com. Use the code that you see on your screen. It's Leslie B15. And just FYI, it's Leslie, no E, Lesli. So probably if you type in an E, it probably won't work out so well. So Lesli, B is in boy, 15, and you will get 15% off. All right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Thanks, Leslie. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Take care.